Hey everyone, it's Mari. I'm back again today with another project for the Vicki Boutin design team. Here you can see on the screen sort of part of the layout that I'm going to be creating today. And I'm going to start off here with a piece of a 12 by 12 textured cardstock. And my inspiration for this project today really is the die cut pieces that you can see on the screen here, the 3 tubes of paint and then that paintbrush. And my idea here was to use some acrylic paints across the page, kind of going from the paint tubes up to that paintbrush, making it look like the paintbrush has swiped through the paints and then drawn the paint up to that top corner. So I'm just using some acrylic paints from my stash to create this paint strip across sort of like the center area of the paper. So you can just see I have the teal colored paint here that I'm starting off with on my little palette here. This is just a little Art Impressions palette. And I am just going to continue to put down a bunch of different colors of acrylic paint that match up with the paint that's in that paintbrush. And there wasn't a tube of paint, an ephemera piece for each one of these colors, but I didn't really think it mattered. This is just whimsical and fun, and I just thought that it would just look really cute to use the paint tubes and that paintbrush in that way. So you'll just see me using the teal and the green, the yellow, the orange, and the pink. And I'm just going to continue to paint those different paints on. And if you wanted to do this technique, definitely just any kind of acrylic paint would work. You could actually even use Vicki's texture paste. You could use, watercolor, just whatever, any type of color medium that you would like to use. And I just really like to use acrylic paint. It's super easy to work with and dries really, really super fast, and it doesn't really buckle the paper at all. So I didn't put any gesso on my paper, anything like that. This is just regular textured white cardstock, and it just really took this acrylic paint well. So you can just see here, I'm now going to go in with that orange, and then just between each color, I am rinsing out my paintbrush. I didn't show that, but it's just, just rinsing out the acrylic paint between colors and then going in with that next color. So there you can see I'm just going to finish up, and it just creates this really pretty rainbow of colors in that area where I'm going to be putting my photograph and some of the other details from Color Study. I'm just going to finish that up. And now what I wanted to do was water those paints down and splatter with them. So again, just kind of creating a really fun sort of like painterly look to this project, and just adding a little bit of nice, neat mixed media to my background. So I'm just going to splatter this on. I'm going to splatter each one of the colors, and I will let it dry a little bit between some of the different layers of splatters, and I do use my heat tool a little bit to help advance the drying time. But like I said, the acrylic paint dries really super fast, and there you can see that's the basic idea of how I want to place the paint tubes and then that paintbrush. Now I have printed a photograph for my project today. This is a 2.5-inch square photo in black and white, and I wanted to do a matte directly behind the photo in a black cardstock. So I'm going to just distress the black cardstock a little bit, and then I will pop up the photo on some foam adhesive and adhere it down to that black cardstock. You can just see I just wanted to really get some good distressing on this black cardstock, folding up the corners a little bit and so on. And then that foam adhesive will just allow me to have a little bit of space between the different layers so that I can continue to add other little bits around my photograph as well. And I'm going to use some of the pattern paper from the 8x6 paper pad from Color Study as well. I love this tone on tone green dot. And I'm going to use a little bit of that. And then I'll also use one of the pattern papers that has the rainbows on it to add a little bit more color to my photo mat layers as well. And doing a little bit of distressing on each of those layers to make them look a little bit more textured. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did use my Tim Holtz decal edge trimmer to trim around the white border on the photograph. I just think that makes the photo look just really cool and interesting in that way. Almost kind of makes it look a little bit vintage. And there you can see those are the layers for my photo mat. And I will add some of those with a little bit of foam adhesive as well. Now I do have this vellum die cut piece from one of the die cut packs. It says "Loving This Life of Mine." I thought that was the perfect size and sentiment that I wanted to add just below this photo of this really sweet family that I'm documenting about here. I want to use one of the die cut floral pieces to the right of the photo, and then one of the chipboard butterflies also layered in that area as well to the right of the photograph. So now you can kind of start to see the different little elements coming together here. I'm going to use some of my 3L foam strips to pop my vellum piece up, and I'm going to place these strips on the colored areas of that vellum piece here, just like the areas with the words, the letters, so that you can't really see that foam adhesive through the vellum. So the color that's in those letters really does, it hides that foam adhesive really nicely so you can't see it. So that's a little hack for you there. You can do that so that you can't see the foam, and I'm going to just use my tweezers to go ahead and place that directly below the photograph. Now I wanted to create a little bit of a tearaway detail area to the top left. And so I'm just going to use my fingernails here just to peel away some of that white cardstock. I'm going to use my other hand, my left hand, just to guide so that I don't tear too much of the paper away. And this is just going to create sort of like a little shape there, a little curve, and I will go ahead and fold that and distress that a little bit with my distressing tool so that it's just a nice smooth curve. I didn't want any sort of like weird indentations there. I just want it to be kind of like a nice smooth tearaway there. So I'm just going to continue to create a little bit of texture there with that tearaway area. And then I will just take a little bit of pattern paper from the 8x6 pad again and place it in that little tearaway section, and just going to add a little bit of adhesive to that, to the face of that paper, and then add it in behind. And that rainbow paper from the 8x6 paper pad is just going to add all of the different colors that I used in the paint stripe area up in that little tearaway area as well. And just love that detail. I'm going to add some sewing machine stitching in that area as well here. And I also added sewing machine stitching to the stripes of the paint. So there you can see just that little bit of detail. I'm going to add more little floral die cuts and some more chipboard from the chipboard sticker sheet to that little tearaway area. And that's just going to give a nice little detail to that top left section without taking away too much of my white space, which I am really trying to retain on the project. So the bottom area where the painting is a really tight little cluster of detail, and then there's some nice white space, and then this little bit of detail up in the left area top. So I'm going to add this really sweet pink little chipboard butterfly. I love that piece. And I'm adding that with some foam adhesive, and I'm also going to add a little chipboard floral there. You'll see me adding a couple of other little bits, another sticker up in that area as well. And I was thinking I'd add this chipboard piece here, but I do end up moving it eventually to the florals on the other side there. And I am eventually going to add a little bit more detail to the left of the photo mat area as well. So I'm just going to move this little chipboard floral piece. Oh, I definitely will move that again. So just kind of trying to move things around and decide where I want them for sure. I'm going to take one of these little orange flag banner pieces here, and I'm going to add that as a little bit of extra detail up to my little tearaway section there. Just adds a little bit more of the gold, iridescent gold up there. And I'm taking a few of the little circular iridescent gold stickers from the cardstock sticker sheet here. And I'm going to add those, just kind of like confetti those around the layout a little bit as well, just for a little detail in some of the little niches, just close into the little clusters, but adding them into some of the little areas there as well. And let's see. I'm just also looking at this piece here, which I love. This is a little gold piece from the 6x12 or the 6x12 cardstock sticker sheet. And I actually end up moving that up towards the Loving This Life of Mine piece so that it's closer to the top of the layout rather than the bottom. But I love that little addition. It's almost kind of like a little border finishing piece there. And I'm just going to add some more splatters. I'm going to add splatters of the different colors to the little tearaway area there. And I will finish off by adding some white splatters to the project as well. I wanted to add a little bit of additional detail to, like I said earlier, to the left of the photo. You're going to see me doing that after I add my white splatters. This is just some Dina Wakley white gloss spray. This dries really dimensional. I love this product so much. You've probably seen me using this lots on card projects and scrapbooking projects. I really love it. If you notice in the close-up photos at the end of the video, that you can see how dimensional this dries, and I'm not worried about how thick I'm getting it on here. I actually like that. And it dries back a little bit so that it does decrease in size as it dries a little bit, but it definitely does dry dimensional. And I think that's just a really fun quality of this Dina Wakley gloss spray. It's a fantastic product. There you can just see I've added that little circular shape. It's a die cut pie chart piece backed with a black cardstock circle. I'm going to add that to my photo area, and I'm also going to finish that off with a chipboard flower. And that's going to finish off my project. I loved creating this. It was so much fun working with that paint and all of the different colors of Color Study. And you know that this collection is chock full of so many fun elements, die cut pieces, stickers, chipboard, just all the things, and so much to choose from and so much fun to create with for sure. So I have left links to all of the products that I've used in the description box below, so make sure that you check that out. I've also linked up to Vicki's blog. You can see a blog post about this layout over on Vicki's TypePad blog, and I have also linked up to Vicki's community page on Facebook, where she has a little Facebook group there that has grown and grown and grown to just the most amazing and fun Facebook group, where Vicki does a Friday night live, basically every Friday night, and she shares inspiration and all kinds of great stuff. So make sure you check the links in the description box below to all the good things. And this layout is finished up. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm just showing you where you could add some journaling to this design if you chose to create this design yourself. And there's a bunch of still shots here as well. Have an amazing day, friends. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you next week for more Color Study inspiration. Bye-bye.